great pleasure to introduce some of Jerry's other kids, people who kind of fell into his world. And the first one is a fellow that I not only worked with on this stage, but on stages elsewhere, outside of Kenmore West. Please welcome a graduate of 1978, Mr. Michael Galante.
It's 71, but that's okay. I know, Mike, you're getting old. You can't remember dates. So let me get this straight before I begin, Mike. So your high school was filled with pistols, handcuffs. Where was I during all of this? He's lying to you. He came to gym class twice, but he was dressed as Mark Twain and he was thrown out. Seriously. You know, as I stand up here, he talked about South Pacific. I remember my favorite part of South Pacific. I was in that show. I was one of those gangly kids, believe it or not. My favorite part was rehearsing There Is Nothing Like a Dame, and the girls were supposed to come by at one point shaking their booty, and we were supposed to whistle. And I don't know why, but the girls in our class just weren't getting it. And Mike, you might remember this, but Jerry said, "Here, girls, do it this way." Very disturbing. But seriously, welcome to Jerry's house. Now, I come from Rich Products, and we still call Ralph Wilson Stadium Rich Stadium. And so, with all due respect to the folks who did all of the great decisioning to make this what it is tonight and to put the name on the auditorium, it wouldn't matter. To us, it will always be Jerry's house. But we're really glad to be here tonight. So, welcome to Jerry's house. As Mike said, my name is Michael Galante. And like my classmate, Mr. Randall here, I am a 1971 graduate of this fine institution. And we have come a long way, Mr. Randall, since we stood up here singing and dancing, not only through South Pacific, but also Maine. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, there's something timeless about this place. Every time I walk in here, it magically transports you back to an earlier time, and you can't help but put a big smile on your face. And that's what this place has always been about. It's always been magic. It's always put a smile on your face, whether you were up here or whether you were down there. That's what it was all about. And allow me to tell a quick story that begins to explain the kind of magic that this place has. Now, about 6 months before Jerry passed, a bunch of us guys sat around with him having coffee at one of his favorite places, and we were just telling stories about each other, you know, our lives, our kids, what's been happening, and we kind of talking about the good old days. And at first, Jerry just sat. He was silent. And we weren't sure whether he was just listening, perhaps he was bored, why not? Or maybe somehow held captive in that cloudy world that morning. But then our small talk turned to the times we all spent together here, in this auditorium, on this stage, in this school. And like a switch that was somehow turned on, this great man came to life. And over the next half hour, we turned back into teenagers, spending some stolen bonus time with the coolest teacher we knew. As those minutes flew, Jerry roared with laughter. And as he reminisced with us about his shows, about all the kids, about the rehearsals, about the drama that Mike talked about, he smiled that all-knowing smile, and he happily regaled us with inside tidbits on some fellow teachers and moments that delighted us. I made the mistake of telling him who my favorite teacher was. Boy, did he put me in my place. As the details of things that occurred some 40 years past came out of his mouth, we all sat in awe. We were in amazement. And I think we all knew that it was not the guys who brought his behavior on that night, that day. It was the memories of this place that did that. Because it was the memories he created here, and it made him young again. He delighted in sharing those stories with us. And that's really why we're all here tonight. He continues to share those memories with us. And with generations and to all of us who shared those precious few years with him inside these walls. You know, I've been coming into this auditorium on and off for the past 45 years. I've experienced the graduations of my two brothers, my high school orientations, class assemblies, club meetings, drama classes, school year and summer theater, musical auditions, rehearsals, performances, recordings. I can remember as if it were yesterday my own graduation that Mike talked about, our musical performances and our reward celebrations. It all comes rushing back in waves of beautiful memories. I can remember the 25th musical reunion we held here. I remember my two children's high school orientations and their performances and celebrations as well. And from the first time I experienced this ambiance, it felt strangely like my home away from home. It was a place to learn, to celebrate, to entertain, to amuse, to come and relax, to practice, to socialize, to become informed, a place to grow, to be a little inquisitive, to be yourself, to find yourself. Or if you were lucky enough to be on stage, to actually become someone else. This place that he created was Brigadoon, Valley High, 42nd Street. It was Dogpatch in Iowa and New Rochelle. It was a clam bake in New England, a wedding in Anatevka, a floor show at Harmonica Gardens, or Harmonia Gardens. It was a land of make-believe where your world became a carnival, or Cinderella's castle, or the land of Oz. And the man behind it all was Jerry Starr. It wasn't just our home away from home, this was his home away from home. This was the place he built, and he built it to keep all of us safe. And he built it to have us understand that we were free to express ourselves and find our talents, many times for the very first time in our lives. To me, this was, is, and always will be his place, regardless of what it's called. But to actually see his name go up on this special magical place is indeed wonderful. And when I was asked to speak on behalf of my peers representing the late 60s and early 70s, as I'm sure all who speak here tonight will hope to in some way communicate what an important person Mr. Starr was. You know, I met him when I was a shy, scrawny, naive 15-year-old. Over those many years, our relationship evolved. He expertly walked that fine line that started out as an authority figure, observed at a distance. Ooh, that's Mr. Starr. And then he moved steadily on from a trusted teacher who saw potential in someone as shy as I was, to the cool teacher who encouraged me to be as funny and creative and expressive as he knew I could be, to the father figure who was there to support whatever I was doing in the community, to a mentor who shared his wisdom on directing, acting, parenting, and in life in general. And then finally to a friend who was always up for a quick cup of coffee, although they were too few and too far in between. And now here we are, the legend who we honor so deservedly tonight. It's been quite a journey for him. So to his late sweetheart Elaine and his children who graciously shared him with all of us all through these years, Cindy, Kevin, Rob, and Jody, I thank you. And the individuals who will enter this building for their first time in the future may not have known the man and his name for, but they will feel his spirit. They'll know they're in a special place. It's a magical place. They're in a place where Jerry's kids learned to be who they are now. We felt it then, and we can feel it here tonight. Whether you were on stage, backstage, out front, in the pit, on the rails, in the cage, at the controls, at the doors, in the chorus room, or simply in the seats, this place is better because of what he left behind. So thanks to all of you who made this honor possible. Thank you all for coming and sharing tonight. It's been my honor to be a part of it. By the way, Mike, stick around. There will be notes afterwards. And in the vernacular that Jerry taught us, I just say, nice job, kid.